Out front now, Democratic Congresswoman Veronica Escobar, who represents El Paso, Texas. Good to have you with us tonight. So when we look at what's happening, the president announcing today he's sending 1,500 additional troops to the border to help. Democratic Senator Bob Menendez called this unacceptable. He said, quote, the administration has had over 2 years to plan for the eventual end of this Trump-era policy in a way that does not compromise our values as a country. Trying to score political points or intimidate migrants by sending the military to the border caters to the Republican Party's xenophobic attacks on our asylum. Do you agree with his assessment?
I do not agree with the senator. This is a very different approach using the military than what we saw in the last administration, which I did condemn. During the last administration, then President Trump used our military personnel to actually interact with migrants and take on a quasi law enforcement role. In fact, here in El Paso, we saw military personnel with long guns turning migrants away at our ports of entry. Our United States military should have absolutely no role in law enforcement. I spoke with Secretary Mayorkas this morning. None of that is going to be happening this go round. Instead, that military personnel is going to be used to provide support to Border Patrol without engaging in any law enforcement activities and without engaging directly with migrants. What we have right now, what we need is all hands on deck. We have a shortage of personnel. We need Border Patrol agents back to their mission, and that's what this will help achieve.
So let me just push you on one other point, though. What Senator Menendez also said is the administration has had, his words here, over 2 years to plan for the eventual end of this policy, in his view, in a way that does not compromise our values as a country. I know you have said, telling my colleagues here on CNN recently, you believe the administration, the president has done all he can. It's up to Congress now. The reality for most Americans watching this is they're not seeing a lot of action. So can you point to one instance where you're working, for folks at home to understand, where are you working across the aisle to make a difference, to spur some action in Congress? We know things are tough in Washington, but I think the folks at home would love to hear some of that.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, I have been working closely with the administration from day one, and they have adopted, whenever possible, many of the ideas that I've provided them. The challenge has been some of what they've been limited from doing has come as a result from lawsuits from red states like my own, and that has encumbered their ability to really broaden their effort. But I also am working on bipartisan legislation. I don't want to get ahead of it, but I'm hoping that it will be completed soon. That I think will help not just in the immediate, but over the long term. It really is on Congress to act. And it's very important that as we look at what's happening on the U.S.-Mexico border, that all of us, legislators and the executive, work in concert to create long-term, important, real solutions.
Congresswoman Escobar, we look forward to hearing more about that bipartisan legislation that you are working on. Thanks for joining us tonight.